The Hidden Children, Siblings Raised as Your Enemies. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11-time published author, and this is Occult Bloodlines, Families of Ritual Power. Today's video is titled The Hidden Children, Siblings Raised as Your Enemies. It exposes a dynamic rarely acknowledged in healing spaces and barely understood by outsiders: the deliberate division, inversion, and weaponization of sibling relationships inside ritual-based families. If you grew up in an occult bloodline, there's a high probability that your sibling was not just another child in the household. They were positioned, trained, or unconsciously used as a tool, either to extract energy from you, to mirror your inversion, or to psychologically destabilize your path. We begin with one of the most common blueprints found in dysfunctional and spiritually inverted family systems: the golden child versus scapegoat dynamic. This isn't just about favoritism. In ritual systems, these roles are strategically assigned. The golden child is given approval, resources, and false empowerment. They are not favored because they're better. They are favored because their identity aligns with the family's external narrative. They reinforce the illusion. They maintain control. The scapegoat, on the other hand, is the one who threatens that illusion. Often intuitive, rebellious, or spiritually gifted, the scapegoat is punished not for their failures, but for seeing too much. Their punishment is symbolic. It teaches the entire family: truth will cost you. In ritual families, this dynamic is not just psychological, it's energetic. The golden child is groomed to extract admiration and control the room. The scapegoat is the emotional outlet, receiving projection, rejection, and energetic overflow. This creates a siphoning loop. The scapegoat suffers, the golden child thrives. The pain of one fuels the illusion of the other. And the family system remains intact, because both children are locked in roles they did not choose. But it gets darker. In occult families, it's not uncommon for siblings to be used as informants, spies, or handlers. One sibling may be coached, consciously or not, to monitor the other, to report on them, to provoke them, to push them toward breakdown or outbursts so the family can justify further punishment. In some families, a sibling is used to test your triggers. They may invade your space, mimic your actions, or act out rituals they don't understand. They are not acting as individuals. They are functioning as extensions of the curse system. This dynamic is often invisible until the survivor steps back and starts to track the pattern. Some survivors report that their siblings seemed to know what would upset them and did it anyway. Others remember being gaslit by a brother or sister while the parents looked the other way. Sometimes, a sibling will repeat exact phrases used in abuse, even though they weren't present for the original trauma. These are not coincidences. In ritual systems, families operate as networks. Information is shared unconsciously, spiritually, and symbolically. The sibling doesn't need to be malicious. They've simply been assigned a role. Whether they embrace it or not, the damage is the same. Another layer of this is what we might call twin flame inversion. In some families, two siblings share a deep spiritual bond. They may be literal twins, close in age, or emotionally linked through shared trauma. But instead of being allowed to support each other, they are deliberately turned against each other. The family sets up constant comparisons, rewards one for the other's failure, plants seeds of jealousy, or pits them against each other in spiritual language, claiming one is cursed, the other blessed. This is not by accident. In occult systems, true energetic mirrors are dangerous. If two powerful siblings align, they can threaten the system. So they are divided early, not just emotionally, but spiritually. This manipulation is subtle. You may have grown up thinking your sibling was your competitor, that you had to earn more, be more, prove more. You may have resented them, feared them, or felt protective of them in ways that didn't make sense. That's because their role was not chosen, it was orchestrated. And yours was too. In some cases, the scapegoat child will try to go no contact with the parents, only to have the sibling chase them down, trying to bring them back to the family, keep the peace, or fix things. But in truth, the sibling is not neutral. They are functioning as an agent of the system. And whether they know it or not, their role is to return the threat, you, back into the fold. Some survivors report eerie synchronicities: their siblings showing up unannounced at locations, repeating private conversations they couldn't have heard, or behaving in ways that feel more programmed than personal. In ritual families, the sibling bond is not left to chance. It is controlled, monitored, and often sabotaged. You were never allowed to grow into that relationship freely, and you likely weren't told the truth about what your sibling was experiencing either. In severe cases, siblings have been used in actual rituals, forced to observe, participate, or witness abuses meant to tether the entire family spiritually. Some are used in mirror rituals, where the punishment of one child is energetically anchored through the presence or emotional collapse of the other. These roles are not revealed. They are felt. They are played out over decades. And the result is profound emotional confusion. You feel love, hatred, pity, rage, and longing for someone who is placed next to you, not just by biology, but by design. If you've experienced this, you may feel grief not just over the sibling bond that never was, but the role you were forced to play inside it. You may have moments where you remember being punished for things your sibling did, or watching them be rewarded for actions you were never allowed to take. You may have tried for years to repair the relationship, only to realize it cannot be repaired until the programming is removed. You may also feel guilty for seeing them clearly, because what ritual families demand most is silence. And to expose your sibling's role, even if they were also a victim, is to violate the family script. But you didn't write that script. You just performed it. And now you're starting to walk off the stage. Before we close, I want to affirm something many survivors have been told is delusional. Yes, your sibling may have been placed in your life to monitor, sabotage, or spiritually block you. Yes, it's possible to feel love and betrayal from the same person. And yes, this was likely organized far earlier than you were capable of defending yourself. The bond between siblings should be one of support, honesty, and shared resilience. But in occult families, it's often weaponized, inverted, and used as a psychological prison. This isn't dysfunction. This is ritual family architecture. And once you see the structure, you can stop playing the role. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and what you just watched is part of my signature program, the Chosen One series inside School of Soul. This series is not just a course, it's a blueprint for those who know they were different from the start. The black sheep, the scapegoat, the truth teller, the cycle breaker. Inside, you'll discover the family roles playbook, the golden child, the scapegoat, the enabler, the lost child, and how to finally step out of the part you were cast in without consent. How the black sheep becomes the goat, turning rejection into radical transformation and leadership. How to break generational curses and rewrite ancestral contracts so the pain stops with you. And how to recognize and escape modern forms of spiritual and technological targeting, from gang stalking to synthetic synchronicity. This isn't just about survival. It's about awakening, about reclaiming your voice, your lineage, and your destiny as one of the chosen ones. Click the link below to access the full series now, because the role ends the moment you decide it does, and the real script begins with you.